Discover Dakar, home to Africa's tallest statue. Hello, Displorers! Welcome back to another informative video presented to you by Displorer, and thanks for watching. Africa is home to numerous monuments and landmarks, but one of them stands out as the tallest. Hence, in this video, we shall have a joyride through Dakar, home to numerous landmarks and the tallest statue in Africa. This capital of Senegal is also the largest city of Senegal, with a population of over 3 million inhabitants in its major area. The area around Dakar was settled in the 15th century by the Portuguese, who established a presence on the island of Ngor, off the coast of Cap-Vert, and used it as a base for the Atlantic slave trade. France took over the island in 1677, and following the abolition of slave trade, French annexation of the mainland area in the 19th century brought growth to Dakar, making it a major regional port and a major city of the French colonial empire. In 1902, Dakar replaced St. Louis as the capital of French West Africa. From 1959 to 1960, Dakar was the capital of the short-lived Mali Federation, and in 1960, it became the capital of the independent Republic of Senegal. If you are new here, welcome! Be sure to subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss any of our videos. Dakar is a history city with great achievements under its belt, but before we look into all of its culture, numerous landmarks and economy, the historic background is a good place to start for a better understanding of the city. History. The Cap-Vert Peninsula was settled no later than the 15th century by the Lebou people, an aquacultural ethnic group related to the neighbouring Wolof and Serer. The original villagesOuakam, Ngor, Yoff and Hannstill still constitute distinctively Lebou neighbourhoods of the city today. In 1444, the Portuguese reached the Bay of Dakar initially as slave raiders, but peaceful contact was finally opened in 1456 by Diogo Gomes, and the bay was subsequently referred to as the Angra de Bezeguiche, which is after the name of the local ruler. The Bay of Bezeguiche would go on to serve as a critical stop for the Portuguese India Armadas of the early 16th century, where large fleets would routinely stop both on their outward and return journeys from India to repair, collect fresh water from the rivulets and wells along the Cap-Vert shore, and trade for provisions to the local people for their remaining voyage. It was famously during one of these stops in 1501 where the Florentine navigator Amerigo Vespucci began to construct his New World hypothesis about America. The Portuguese eventually founded a settlement on the island of Ngor, which by 1536 they began to use as a base for slave exportation. The mainland of Cape Verde, however, was under control of the Jolof Empire as part of the western province of Cayor, which seceded from Jolof in its own right in 1549. A new Lebou village called Ndakaru was established directly across from Ngor in the 17th century to serve as a European trading factory with food and drinking water. Ngor was captured by the United Netherlands in 1588, which gave it its present name. The island was to switch hands between the Portuguese and Dutch several more times before falling to the English under Admiral Robert Holmes on January 23, 1664, and finally to the French in 1677. In 1795, the Lebou of Cape Verde revolted against Cayor rule. A new theocratic state subsequently called Lebou Republic by the French was established under the leadership of the Diop, a Muslim clerical family originally from Koki in Cayor. The capital of the republic was established at Ndakaru, and in 1857, the French established a military post at Ndakaru, which they called Dakar, and annexed the Lebou Republic, though its institutions continue to function nominally. The Seigne of Ndakaru is still recognized as the traditional political authority of the Lebou by the Senegalese state today. Slave trade was abolished by France in February 1794, but Napoleon reinstated it in May 1802, then finally abolished it permanently in March 1815. Despite Napoleon's abolition, a clandestine slave trade continued at Ngor until 1848, when it was abolished throughout all French territories. Dakar is a major financial center, home to a dozen national and regional banks, including the BCEAO, which manages the unified West African CFA currency, and to numerous international organizations, NGOs, and international research centers. Dakar has a large Lebanese community concentrated in the import and export sector that dates to the 1920s. A community of Moroccan business people, as well as Mauritanian, Cape Verdean, and Guinean communities. The city is home to as many as 20,000 French expatriates. France still maintains an Air Force base at Yoff, and the French fleet is serviced in Dakar's port. Beginning 1978 until 2007, Dakar was frequently the ending point of the Dakar Rally. Climate of Dakar. The Dakar climate is generally warm, as Dakar has an ocean-influenced hot semi-arid climate with a short rainy season and a lengthy dry season. Dakar's rainy season lasts from July to October, while the dry season covers the remaining 8 months. The city sees approximately 495 millimeters of precipitation per year. Dakar between December and May is usually pleasantly warm with daily temperatures around 24 to 27 degrees centigrade. Nights during this time of the year are comfortable, with temperatures ranging between 17 and 20 degrees centigrade. However, between May and November, the city becomes decidedly warmer, with daily highs reaching 29 to 31 degrees centigrade and night lows a little bit above 23 and 24 degrees centigrade. Notwithstanding this hotter season, Dakar's weather is far from being as hot as that of African cities inland, such as Niamey and N'Djamena, where temperatures go above 36.7 degrees for much of the year. Dakar is cooled year-round by sea breezes. Places of worship. Among the places of worship, there are predominantly Muslim mosques with a few Christian churches and temples, mostly Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Dakar of the Catholic Church, Assemblies of God, Universal Church of the Kingdom of God. Dakar was selected as the capital of Islamic culture for African region for the year 2007 by the Islamic Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, ISESCO, honoring its Islamic heritage. ISESCO and its parent organization, Organization of Islamic Cooperation (OIC), have held several regional and international conferences in the city, best known for adoption of the Dakar Declaration in 1991, which aimed at fostering the cooperation between the member states. Dakar is also known as the birthplace of the Layin Brotherhood, a Sufi taraka, founded by Sayyidina Muhammadu Limamu Laye in 1883 at the commune of Yoff. Sayyidina is buried in the Layin Mausoleum, which is among the major landmarks of Dakar. Today, Layin Brotherhood is consisted mostly of the Lebou people and based in the Cap-Vert area. It is also the third biggest Sufi order in Senegal. Family culture. In Senegal, the traditional culture is very centered around the idea of family, even in the way that they eat. When it is time to eat a typical meal, someone will say Kaylek, which means come eat. Everyone will come together and sit around a plate and eat with their hands. Some famous dishes include Kebo Jen and Yassa. The etiquette of people in Dakar is very simple but very vital. To not greet someone upon sight is to portray rudeness and oftentimes ignorance. Due to French colonialism, the children of Dakar have a unique school system. The school will get a break at about midday and return home to get some rest. Since the population is majority Muslim, there are daily activities such as going to the mosque at noon for prayer and attending the mosque on Fridays. Music has a big influence on the youth with famous artists like Dara J family who use their voice to represent the problems in their communities. Dakar is home to multiple national and international festivals like World Festival of Black Arts, Festival International du Film de Quartier de Dakar, Dakar Biennale. It was also the location of TAF, an international artist residency program. Notable sites in Dakar. The city of Dakar is a member of the Organization of World Heritage Cities and contains several landmarks. One of the most notable is Deux Mamelles, Twin Hills, located in Ouakam commune. The hills are the only high ground in the city, providing views of the entire area and sweeping views of the city. The first hill is topped with Mamelle Lighthouse, built in 1864. The second hill has the newly completed African Renaissance monument built on top, which is considered the tallest statue in Africa. Besides these, other landmarks of the city include Medina Quarter located in Medina Commune, the Dakar Grand Mosque, built in 1964, and one of the prominent landmarks of the city. Dakar is flanked by two small islands, Ile de Ngor and Ile de Gouré. The former is on the northern shore of Ngor Commune, with beaches providing attractions such as surfing. Ngor Commune also has other popular beach resorts such as Plage de Ngor. Ile de Gouré, formerly a slave island, is today a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which preserves the colonial era architectures and facilities. The notable places on the island is Gori Memorial, which is a memorial for the slaves, and the House of Slaves, which is a museum dedicated to the Atlantic slave trade. Today, the island is also hosting the art scene of the hundreds of local artists who line up their works at the outdoor exhibitions. Some other notable places include Lion Mausoleum, which entombs the founder of the Lion Sufi Tariqa, Palais Presidential, which is the seat of the government, constructed in 1907, Place de l'Indépendance, which is the central square of Dakar, Dakar Cathedral, and Keith Anta Diop University, also known as the University of Dakar, which was established in 1957. Of all these landmarks, the African Renaissance Monument is the most significant, given it is considered the tallest statue in Africa. The tallest monument of Africa. The African Renaissance Monument is a 52-meter tall copper statue located on top of one of the twin hills known as Colline de Mamel, outside Dakar, Senegal. Built overlooking the Atlantic Ocean in the Ouakam suburb, the statue was designed by the Senegalese architect Pierre Goudiaby after an idea presented by the President Abdoulaye Wade and built by Mansudae Overseas Projects, a company from North Korea. Site preparation on top of the 100-meter high hill began in 2006, and the construction of the bronze statue began in 2008. Originally scheduled for completion in December 2009, delays stretched into early 2010, and the formal dedication occurred on 4th April 2010, Senegal's National Day, commemorating the 50th anniversary of the country's independence from France. The project aimed at providing monuments to herald a new era of African Renaissance. It is a question of showing through a family drawn up towards the sky, the man carrying his child on his biceps and holding his wife by the waist, and Africa emerging from the bowels of the earth, leaving obscurantism to go towards the light. The work was drawn by President Wade, who owns 35% of the copyright, where the work was initiated by the famous Senegalese artist Ousmane Sow, who has since withdrawn from the project following the disagreements with Abdoulaye Wade. On 3rd April 2010, the African Renaissance Monument was unveiled in Dakar, in front of 19 African heads of state, including President of Malawi and the African Union, Bingu wa Mutharika, Jean Ping of the African Union Commission, and the Presidents of Benin, Cap-Vert, Republic of Congo, Ivory Coast, Gambia, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, and Zimbabwe, as well as representatives from North Korea and Jesse Jackson and musician Akon, both from the United States, all of whom were given a tour. President Wade said, "It brings to life our common destiny. Africa has arrived in the 21st century, standing tall and more ready than ever to take its destiny into its hands." President Bingu said, "This monument does not belong to Senegal. It belongs to the African people wherever we are." Despite the intentions of the monument, it has been criticized for several reasons. Thousands of people protested against all the failures of President Wade's regime, the least of which is the horrible statue, on the city's streets beforehand, with riots, police deployed to maintain control. Deputy leader of the opposition Ndeye Fatou Touré described the monument as an economic monster and a financial scandal, in the context of a current economic crisis. The colossal statue has been criticized for its cost of $27 million, the payment which was made in kind, with 30 to 40 hectares of land that will be sponsored by a Senegalese businessman. Senegalese opposition leaders also questioned the style of the project, while art critics argued that the body shapes are cartoon-like, with only vague African facial features. It was also suggested that the monument is a stark representation of the macro-sexism of African authoritarian rulers. It was a poorly received piece of art by critics around the world after its much delayed unveiling in 2010 and was compared by some to and once abandoned Christopher Columbus statue project that was unveiled in Arecibo, Puerto Rico in 2016. Local imams argued that a statue depicting a human figure is idolatrous and objected to the perceived immodesty of the semi-nude male and female figures. In December 2009, President Abdoulaye Wade apologized to Senegal's Christian minority for comparing the statue to Jesus Christ. There you have it, explorers. That was the discovery of Dakar, the home to the tallest in Africa. Thanks for watching this video, and if you did enjoy, do well to give it a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe and share with your friends.